I've been reflecting on my YouTube and creator journey across my multiple channels and experience since 2016. And I'm thinking about why creators fail and what you can do to avoid it. I think most creators or most people think that they're sort of starting from zero, but I think that might be a mistake because you have so much more foundationally that you're offering. So it's never from zero. It might be zero in terms of zero subs. I think it's I think the issue is they don't understand often perhaps the sort of system that they're stepping into. And and this isn't just about sort of algorithms or the rules of the game. I think it's about sort of appreciating that the content landscape is already it's shaped by AI and it's shaped by audience sort of behavior, their sentiment, what enthuses them, but also what fatigues them. And there's definitely oversupply of content. We know that. And then there is a sort of scarcity of attention because it's the attention economy and all everyone is doing is trying to grab yours. So we're competing with people who have been essentially documenting their sort of professional or personal lives for a great deal of time if you see yourself as being a competitor. And it's not because they're better, and it's not because you're starting from zero. It's because they sort of stayed the game, they stayed put, and they sort of stayed visible. I think the first mistake is definitely assuming that or thinking that we're new, that you're completely new. But what is actually new is it's your angle, it's your sort of own lived experience, it's how you synthesize information. And so that sort of uniqueness is what we need to, as creators, I think, become recognizable for. I think long form is definitely a fantastic way and method to build that community. But then I think it also means you've got to sort of invest in the long game, and short form can give you some reach. But if you're looking to build community and relationship, then long form is definitely the way. Let's continue talking about this. Thank you so much for watching so far. I am Serena. I've been in media and comms for more than 20 years. I've worked in print, watched digital come in, and sort of now seeing the new phase really. And I have multiple channels to talk about media and politics on my commentary channel, which I monetized like last year. It was a fantastic feeling. And I have more than 20 years in communications and public relations. I'm a chartered public relations pro, and I have a systems thinking background. That's my postgrad MSc subject. So long form, I think, is definitely good if you want to build that sort of community over a long period of time, which I definitely want to do. And short form, I probably struggle a little bit more with, but then I use my Restream, which I pay for, and that provides me with AI generated clips of my content, which is great for me to share. But I think what's great about long form is that it lets your audience see how you think and how you reason so they can sort of like understand whether or not they gel with you. They witness how you connect dots and how you actually handle sort of complexity, which is something that I do in my work and my job and my thinking and my podcast, Systems and Questions, right? It's all about reflecting on complexity. And they also want to see through your long form content how you return to themes and how you spot patterns and how you're supporting them in their thinking, I think. So I think when you become recognizable through these sort of different ways, I think you're rewarded because people can consistently expect and find you. And then I think you're therefore rewarded on YouTube. My past experiences and mistakes have been I have become unrecognizable to myself due to personal circumstances, or not sort of fully recognizing what my sort of signature style is, what I'm doing, what my intention is, the direction I'm going in. And so that's why the playbook kept changing. My style, the substance, the content, everything actually kept changing, which is why I was kinda it wasn't even the merry-go-round, because the merry-go-round would almost sort of describe this sort of visual of staying put on this long ride. I was almost like on a waltzer, just constantly changing cars. Do you remember that ride, the waltzer? It was just absolutely awful. So for me, I realized only once I began to pause and reflect more, and I started my postgrad study in systems thinking, I began to synthesize information in a deeper way. And it's only once I started to go really deep, because my profession in comms and my background in sort of multidisciplinary creative spaces has given me a lot. It really does, so much value. Um, but as soon as I sort of started my postgrad, and my sort of grad was in, I read politics at university, and that was a long time ago, 20 years ago. But as soon as I started getting into deeper sort of synthesis and looking at problem solving, use sort of applying systems thinking, looking at forming strategy and change, and it's just been so eye-opening. And to read academic material that I wouldn't have come across had I not embarked on this study. And when I started that process, I felt like I had so much more value to offer. And in doing so, all the things I wanted to do and had already begun to do started to improve. And that's why I started this channel, because I thought, hang on, like I talk about reputation management, strategic public relations, all of these sorts of things. I talk about them for other creators and entrepreneurs and those building brands in public. But there is like another higher order thinking. There's a video on higher order thinking. There's another higher order thinking that perhaps we're not doing, and we're not sort of allowing ourselves to do, that can really help inform all of it. And what is that, and how can we apply that? And that's why I wanted to bring it over here. That's why the channel is called Serena's Playbook, because I just think that there's a real tapestry to sort of take from. That's what bricolage is. As a bricoleur, you're really taking from your repertoire of skills and experiences. And when you do that, I think you can really have quite a unique value proposition, and that's what you would essentially be recognized for and valued for. And in order to do that, I think, yes, so I was initially talking about, okay, you're not starting from zero, you're sitting on so much value, and you want to think about how you want to be recognized, short term and long term. But in the end, I think the consistency bit is only possible and only valuable if you're able to be very consistent and authentic with yourself, authentic, quote unquote. But I think that the consistency is only possible on YouTube, and to put the content out time and time again, is if you really feel what you're doing, like if you're really aligned to it, like if you really enjoy it. And I like my buckets of content because they all are growth areas for me and for those who tune in. The media and politics commentary, I apply sort of my systems thinking analysis and other analysis and my holistic background to it in order to really sort of check my assumptions and improve my critical thinking and try and be as neutral as possible. And so that, with everything moving and changing in this sort of um, geopolitical landscape, provides so much opportunity for growth and understanding. And then for this channel, Serena's Playbook, it really sort of, it has so much potential, and I am never stuck for ideas. I have so many different playlists full of content because there are so many areas of interest for us as creators, as brand owners. And that's why I have my 7 strategic zones. Zone 1, strategic self-awareness; 2, interdependencies and stakeholder mapping; 3, risk readiness and reputational design; 4, media literacy and zeitgeist awareness; 5, your engagement system and content architecture; 6, your North Star and value compass; and 7, reflexive thinking and the Bricolage mindset. So I apply those a lot, knowingly or unknowingly, to sort of problem solving and sort of growth areas, especially for like brand management, sort of PR comms crises. And that's why I have playlists of content available. So I think I've just given a couple of examples of why consistent sort of authenticity really helps your consistency. I hope that came across as clearly as I'd hoped. I also am able to sort of consistently do this because I'm mostly unscripted. 95% of my work is offline, and I come over here to kind of like share what I've sort of synthesized, what I'm figuring out. And it's not possible for me to always script everything and write everything down. I sometimes have some bullet points up. I have my research documents up from the work I'm doing. So I can sort of pull from those areas from my multiple screens. But for the most part, it's coming from here. And if you value it, as I value your time and attention, then please do subscribe. If you have already, thank you. And if you're considering doing it, do it now, and do like and comment and share. And I'll see you in the next video. So videos every Monday, and extra episodes during the December-January season. So have a wonderful time, whatever you're doing. Keep going, elevating your thinking, and I'll catch you in the next one.